everyone. I've recently started learning about Europe, and so far it surprised me how different it is. So today we're going to look at Europe versus America, 10 differences. Let's go.
Difference number one, size. Europe was built a long time ago, and its big cities are narrow and small, and the streets were made for pedestrians and horses. You can actually walk around, and it's nice and compact. That's why Europeans can't fathom the fact that we can drive 8 hours and still be in Texas. In America, we tend to have a lot more living space, and our houses are definitely bigger and on more land typically, which comes with its ups and downs, because you certainly get a lot of neighborhoods that look like this.
Yes, basically, I grew up in a small town, and my neighborhood looked a little similar to this. Houses, 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 properties, properties, properties.
And this, and this. In Europe, gas is also a lot more expensive than it is in the States, and so people have incentives to drive less. And when they...
By how much? That's interesting.
They do drive, they typically drive these goofy, tiny little Mickey Mouse looking cars. Goofy, tiny...
What the hell? How do you fit in there? That gotta be for one tiny little person. Well, he did mention that narrow streets, but still. What? Where do you put the groceries?
They're just not on our level. I don't know what to tell you. But it is not just the cities and cars that are smaller in Europe, because it's literally everything. For one, the people here are brutally suppressed by smaller food and drink portions, which is totally unfathomable to me. I mean, how could you? That's not a meal.
What is that? That's the food portion? It's so tiny. I mean, it's smaller than the plate itself. That's your regular dinner? Wow.
It's also fitting. I'm literally recording in the smallest country in the world right now, in the Vatican. But all the countries in Europe are pretty much smaller. I mean, look at the map. It's like, yeah. Difference number three, food. The food in Europe is absolutely atrocious in comparison to what we have in the States.
I learned that reacting to Spanish food, and I want to learn about other countries' food because it blows my mind, literally.
What they do is they don't load them up with preservatives, so you can't get your Big Mac today and enjoy it in 2 months' time. It's nothing short of communism over here. Difference number four, water. Much like the United States, most European countries have safe tap water. That is except for you guys in the Balkans. Sorry.
Okay.
However, there are definitely water differences between the US and Europe. For one, and this is a major one, check this out. Water bottle cap still attached.
What? Why? You don't open it all the way? Doesn't come off? Why not? That's uncomfortable though. You open it and it like scratches your face. No? What? Is that for convenience? For some? I want to...
Water bottle cap still attached.
But why? That's so uncomfortable. Or is there a reason?
How nice. A lot of Europeans say that actually annoys them, that they have their caps attached, but I think this is a fantastic innovation. And when it comes to restaurants, water is not free like it is in the US. You actually have to pay for a bottle of water that usually looks something like this. It is in the US. You actually have to...
That's a bottle of water? That looks like some adults drink, let me tell you that. Well, yeah, you would have to pay for that, something like that here. Normally they'd bring it to you in a glass or something, but...
to pay for a bottle of water that usually looks something like this. I've also noticed that they use a lot more glass over here than we do in the States. Europeans also enjoy sparkling water, which I deeply appreciate. When you ask for water here in a European restaurant, your waiter will more than likely follow up by asking you whether you want still or sparkling water.
Okay, here most of the time you just get water with ice.
Difference number five, age. Everything in Europe, like I said, is old. I mean...
Well, that makes sense though, right?
Seriously, this building behind me, the Basilica, is like that many years old. I don't know, I gotta look it up.
518.
And the United States is like 250. Europe is home to palaces, castles, and ancient ruins all over the continent. I mean, we have our ruins too, though. We have, Detroit, St. Louis, Baltimore.
No, we have pretty good places here in Massachusetts. We have some in other states as well. I think so. Like, come on.
Plenty of nice places. Difference number 6. Money. Most countries in the European Union use the euro, you definitely cannot see that, as their currency. The euro is worth a little bit more than the dollar at the time of me making this video, but depending on where you are in the continent, the cost of living might be a little bit more than, a little bit less than, or pretty close to the cost of living in the United States. For example,
Well, here as well, it depends on where you are. In the suburbs, in the middle of nowhere, or in the major city.
Norway is generally a lot more expensive than the US, while Portugal is generally pretty cheaper.
Really?
Cheaper. That's not the way you say that, but pretty cheaper. A lot cheaper. Much cheaper. Europeans also definitely pay a lot more in taxes than we do in the States. As a general rule of thumb, you can expect to lose about a third of your salary to the government.
You guys told me that in the previous videos, you explained it to me that your healthcare and all the things that you get for free in Europe, it comes from your taxes. So your taxes range from, I think you said like 25, 35% around there. Yeah.
Government in the United States, while here in Europe and a lot of places it's more like half or even more than half sometimes. But they also get a lot more social services like tax-funded education and free healthcare. While in America,
Yeah, well, we don't have taxes as high, but we have to pay for insurance and all that stuff separately.
you break it, you buy it, and it's not cheap either. In Europe, they use a lot more coins than we do here in the United States, and that's pretty much because they're actually useful over there. This here is a 2 euro coin, and I also have a 1 euro coin.
Well, while growing up, we used lots of coins, quarters, dimes. We used them back in the day.
We actually do have golden dollar coins here in the United States, but literally nobody uses them like ever. I
not
genuinely
anymore.
believe most Americans would think that the dollar coin was fake if you showed it to them. You would have to like explain why you're paying with a dollar coin if you handed it to someone. They'd be like, "Really?
No.
This? Just pay with freaking card, dude. Nobody uses these ever."
The trains and the public transport, I reacted to that in the previous video, to the Swiss train situation, and it blew my mind. I mean, it's just insane.
Public transportation. In Europe, public transportation is in every big city, in pretty much every country. Behind me, I'm about to take the metro station here in Rome. This is the station called...
Wait, you have subway stations in every city in Europe? And public transportation in every city? Every city? We have public transportation in the city I live in some other cities, but not in every city.
Termini. In addition to the metros here in the big cities, though, Europeans also have trains, high-speed rail that they like to use, whereas we don't. We just drive everywhere.
No, we have trains. We do. Again, they are delayed all the time, and it also highly depends on where in the U.S. we're talking, right?
All the time, every single day. Usually these kinds of public transportation things are just funded through the taxes, like earlier how I mentioned Europeans pay more in taxes. These are some of the reasons why. Europe's fastest train, the Trenitalia Frecciarossa, has a top speed.
Wait, I reacted to the best Swiss trains, so he's saying that Italian trains are the best? Who said? Huh? Really? That's weird.
Are some of the reasons why. Europe's fastest train, the Trenitalia Frecciarossa, has a top speed of nearly 250 miles per hour. While
250? Ours officially go up to 150 miles an hour, but on the average they go at a speed of 50, 60 miles an hour.
One thing about public transportation, especially in the metros, is that it can get pretty frickin' crowded, dude. I was basically smelling this dude's head the entire ride, but for 3 euros, it was worth it, honestly.
So it's crowded in Europe? That's your main way of transportation? Holy moly, it's not crowded here, not even close. The traffic though, cars, extremely crowded, but public transportation, no.
Then in Rome, we paid €7 per ticket for a 24-hour metro pass, and it was totally worth it. I mean, you could see the entire city, just hop on the metro. They have stations pretty much everywhere you need to go, so it is very convenient. Would recommend. Another thing is I was actually pretty impressed at how clean the metro stations were in the European cities that I've been to. I've only...
Oh my god. That's a subway station? First of all, the rails, they're wide. The platform is wide, and it's so like light and so clean. Oh my god! And there are actually like people there that are, it seems safe to be there. Is what I'm trying to say. Wow.
They rode the metros in Paris and Rome, but those two were pretty good, honestly. Difference number 9, languages. Basically, every single European is multilingual. On top of their native languages, people in Europe typically learn American in school, the best language, obviously. But then in Belgium and Switzerland, they take it to a whole other level. The waffle people speak French in the southern part of the country and Dutch in the northern part of the country.
Is that because they border France down south?
The skiing bankers speak French in the western part of the country, Italian in the very south of the country, a little bit of a language called Romanche, and
Then what's the official language of the country? Does the country have several official languages? That's insane. Within one country, you have many completely different languages. Is that real? How do y'all communicate?
German everywhere else. But hey, in America, difference number 10, systems. In America, we use good old feet and miles, while Europeans use meters and kilometers, the metric system. Why is it called a foot, I hear you ask? Well, cause it's about the length of a foot. I'm not kidding, that's actually why it's called that. In Europe, everyone uses the metric system, which is...
But isn't the metric system used not just in Europe, but like almost everywhere else outside the States?
Based on the number 10. So for example, water freezes at a nice 0 degrees Celsius and boils at a nice 100 degrees Celsius.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Oh.
In America, water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit and boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. I actually had to Google that because I did not remember the number. So fine, the Europeans do better with temperature, I'll give them that. Now, even though my driver's license says I'm 5 feet and 10 inches tall, I'm actually 5'8". But could you...
I'm 5'7 3/4 in centimeters.
Imagine me saying I'm 1.7272 meters tall. Like, what? Why?
You use meters, so 1.72, or you use centimeters, 172. Which one do people normally use?
Or even worse, I'm 172.7 centimeters. No, I've been told people...
That's precise.
People in the UK actually still use feet and inches for measurements, which makes sense considering they are the ones that actually created the imperial system way back when, but that's beyond the point. Europeans also travel vertically differently than we do here in the United States. When you get into your European coffin-sized hotel elevator, the first thing that you might notice is that the first floor is actually what would be the second floor here in the US. Usually...
What? The first floor is the second floor? Then what's... Huh? Then what's your first floor? Basement? Underground parking? Huh?
The very first floor of a European building is called the ground floor, and then everything else just increases numerically from there. And here's a bonus difference. Europeans dress very fancily. I mean, seriously, dude, all of these stores were in the Rome airport alone. It's just a never-ending sea of overpriced designer apparel. Like, it's actually a little intimidating how well they dress.
What's interesting is I do wonder if Europeans dress fancy everywhere. Like, you go to the nearest grocery store, you go to the, I don't know, nearest mall, movie theater, whatever, friend's house. Do you still dress nice? Here, t-shirt, sweatshirt, sweatpants, jeans, sneakers, you name it. Off you go.
Oh yeah, and I forgot about sirens. In Europe, they sound like... And in America, they sound like... so they're different. So obviously it's a little difficult to assign overarching differences to a diverse continent like Europe. So I tried to choose differences that I believe do apply for the most part to most of the European countries, or if not, most of the countries in the European Union. So I hope you think I did a good job. Please be sure to support the video for—
This was very, very tight and kind of like, I wanna learn more. I do assume that most European countries have differences. This was very broad. Wow, great, unique video. Cool, love it.